French pastry cream, the easy way. Welcome to Help at Home, your resource for great recipes and easy learning. I'm Jim Hightower. Today we're going to make French pastry cream the easy way so that we can put it in a pie shell and make a great fruit tart to beat the heat. You'll need 6 egg yolks, 2 cups of scalding hot milk, half a cup of sugar, half a cup of flour, 2 tablespoons butter, and 1 tablespoon vanilla. I'm going to add the sugar in. You want to add it in slowly because if you just dump all the sugar in, it can cause the egg yolks to get burned and speckled. Now, you beat the egg yolks until they get thick and lemon colored, thick and pale, and form what's called a ribbon. That's not quite it. Okay, let's see. Now the ribbon means it makes a slowly dissolving ribbon across the top. And it does. Now we need half a cup of flour. You can dump that right in. Stir it a little bit. By the way, the stove is not on yet. Now, what makes this the easy way? The fact that you're using a handheld electric beater because, or that's Julia speak, a handheld electric mixer, because otherwise you'd be either beating this with a whisk, by hand, or even without, which is worse. Now, we can turn our burner on. I'll put it on low. We get our 2 cups of scalding milk, and you add it in slowly because you don't want to scramble your eggs. Mix it in, and that will gradually raise the temperature of your egg yolks. And then you can start putting it in a little bit faster. And faster and faster. Now, get your wooden spoon, stir all around a little bit. Turn your heat up to medium-high. With your heat on like this, you're just constantly stirring, and as it starts to warm up and come to the boil, it will get thick and lumpy, and you just grab your electric mixer again. So this just takes a couple of minutes. Now, here's your tip. The flour in here not only makes it thicker, but it also safeguards against scrambling your egg yolks from the heat. Oh, by the way, you save about half a cup of milk so that if you need to thin out your pastry cream later, you can. If you put it all in now and it gets too thick, you're sunk. This flat-bottomed wooden spoon is very, very handy, and it reaches all over the bottom. You start feeling that thick, and you get some lumps there. That's just your flour, and that's okay, because in a minute we will beat it out with the beater. But if you just set this and walk away, it could scorch. I feel it getting thicker. I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit. Okay. Now, what I need to do quickly see how easy that is? I think I'll go ahead and turn my burner off and even take it off the burner. Mine's getting a little too thick. Basically, letting it boil for just a minute or 2 cooks the flour so you don't get that raw flour taste. And that's pretty much it. You're done. I need a tablespoon of vanilla. I'm just going to mix that carefully with my wooden spoon here. Ooh, that smells great. You need 2 tablespoons of butter, and what that does is it just gives it that smooth, gives it that smooth French taste, which according to Julia, you won't find anywhere else in cooking. Mix that in, let the cream melt it, let that sit a second. If you're going to use it now, you can just put it into a pre-baked pastry crust, but really, I would let it cool. Put it into a bowl, and what you do to keep it from forming skin on top, you do what's called floating some butter on top. You just kind of spread it around. You can even let it sit there and melt a second, and after you have as little or as much butter as you'd like, grab the butter with your impeccably clean fingers, get a paper towel. You know how I feel about putting hot things away covered. So all you have to do is just put this in your refrigerator, uncovered, let it cool off, and then later, if you're still not ready to use it, put your press and seal on top of that and leave it in the refrigerator till you're ready to put it in your pie crust. You can also flavor it with a couple of ounces of sweet chocolate or some cocoa. I mean, the possibilities are endless. Like nothing you've ever had. Smooth and delicious. I'm going to quickly show you how to form your own pie shell on top of a pie plate. You have one buttered and you roll it on top. You should make it a little bit thicker than normal, about 3/16 of an inch. And just form it on there. And then you decide how tall or thick you want it to be. This is pastry here. And there you go. Prick the bottom and even your sides. Then you take another pie pan or pie plate the same size, buttered. You push it on just slightly. Put it into your preheated 450 degree oven. Set your timer for about 8 minutes, 9 minutes. Let's see what we got. Lift off easy. We need about maybe 9 more minutes. We want a fully baked pie shell so that we can put our pastry cream in there. I set a timer for 6 minutes because that crust was so brown, I wasn't sure what I was gonna get. Obviously, my crust is done, but I'm gonna eat it. It's a little brown, but it'll be okay. So do 2 to 4 minutes. Carefully lift it off and turn it over. And the inside is done. And who doesn't like a crispy crust? That's what I'd like to know. By the way, you have to let this cool down completely, because if you put your pastry cream in there now, it's just gonna melt. You'll be sad, and nobody wants to be sad when you're having a nice cold dessert like that. This is the moment you've been waiting for. We're gonna make our fruit tart. First of all, I have a nice glass platter, nice Coca-Cola platter. When you make something special, or at least everything you make homemade should be special, you might as well serve it in its best light. Ta-da! Now, you'll notice that I have the apricot glaze on there, or as Julia would say, the apricot glaze. This not only gives your crust an even better flavor, if that's possible, because it's a butter crust, but it waterproofs it, so your custard won't go through your crust. I had my pastry cream in the refrigerator, and it was a little bit firm, so I set it out for about half an hour, and it's much more user-friendly. So, you just spread it around. You've got all kinds of ways that you can decorate this. I've got the fresh strawberries here. You can slice them up and make a circular pattern. Cue for picture. You can use the fresh blueberries, yum. Or you can even go whole hog and use a can of cherry pie filling. It makes it practically look like a cheesecake, except there's less sugar. You can't beat that. All my fruit's been washed. And since my wife loves blueberries, I'm just gonna use this. You just put it on there, spread them out. You don't have to make it perfect. Move them around as little or as much as you want to. There you go. That's yum. Check this out. That is gonna be so good. I think I lost a blueberry. Oh, I did. And you've got a nice thicker crust. Everybody loves a nice crunchy crust, and a crust that's not so thin it just flakes off into nothing. So there you go. No soggy bottoms for a couple of days with your apricot glaze, according to Julia. Good. You can cover it up with your press and seal and just keep it cold till you're ready to eat. Yummy. So if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share with your friends that like to cook or just want to learn how to cook. Drop me a line in the comments below. Tell me what you think about this. It's yummo. It's definitely worth it. Cooking the pastry cream on the stove is no big deal, and it doesn't heat up your whole house. I'm Jim Hightower, and remember, everyone needs help, even me, and on these hot days, they need a cold dessert that's comforting to eat and healthy.